Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. Two things to talk about here. What I'll get to later on is just that this is your final warning, your final reminder that you only have a few days left to back Avatar Journey of Aang if you want this board game. But before that, we'll get into the big piece of news here for the video. And that is that Viacom have filed some trademarks for Avatar Safe Havens. Note, it is not Avatar 7 Havens, like the announcement from last month. This was not listed as a working title or anything like that. It was just, they called it Avatar 7 Havens multiple times, even in the synopsis. All the official social media accounts called it 7 Havens. So what's happening here? Has the show in the last month had an official name change to Avatar Safe Havens? We'll talk about this. So the first one of these trademark listings is just for toys, games, that sort of thing, this style of merch, and you can see the listing for it all here. I don't believe this means like it's locked in that it's going to get all this stuff, but it's just a trademark so that they can do this stuff, officially in the future. This second one is clearly for the show itself, because they talk about like a multimedia series featuring animation that will be on platforms, transmission media, that sort of thing. So that makes complete sense. And then the last one is just for clothing and all that sort of like other type stuff there, Halloween costumes, that sort of stuff, the other angle on merch. So they're the three listings that have gone up. I did a quick check. I was not able to see that there are also listings for Avatar 7 Havens, so it's only Safe Havens right now. So what's going on here? What should the interpretation of this be? One, I would not immediately jump to assume like locked in the show is now under this title, just because this is a pretty significant news update and it's so recent. Even though this technically filing is from like the 14th, like under a month afterwards, I don't immediately jump to assume that the trademark filing just means that's the new name. As an example, I know it's slightly different because, copyright, trademark and stuff like that, it's all slightly different. But the copyright listing that we have for the Aang movie listed as simply Lost Realm. There's no Avatar, no Aang in the title, it's just Lost Realm. Do we actually believe that that movie is going to be officially announced as just being called Lost Realm? No, we definitely expect there to be a different title when it gets confirmed. So I think it's a sort of similar situation here. We've known, and we have evidence of this in the past, these companies, they do tend to just take trademarks for a lot of related kind of type things, where they might be very confident that they either already have or will get Avatar 7 Havens and they can just use that across the board. They might be just trademarking this just in case 7 Havens doesn't quite work out when everything goes through like approvals or whatever. So this might be just maybe the backup title or something like that. We don't really know. But even if it maybe is the new title of the show, it's still fundamentally, effectively the same title. It's just, Avatar with the subtitle about the Havens, the Haven cities. One of them specifically mentions how many of them there are. One of them emphasizes specifically they are safe havens, as in the only safe havens on the planet. I do prefer 7 Havens. I just think it's a little bit more detailed. I feel it rolls off the tongue a little bit more better than Safe Havens. But I think both are fine. I don't think Safe Havens would be a bad title at all, because it gets the point across. It's still easily identifiable as the show about the world when it's in this state, that sort of idea. So I don't mind either way, which way they properly go. My preference is for 7 Havens, and I think most people, from what I've seen from the initial reaction to this, feel the same. But again, I wouldn't read too much into this just because it is early copyright information. In the same way, I wouldn't use this to directly confirm that we're getting electronic handheld games for Avatar Safe Havens confirmed from this. It just means that part of the trademark means that when they get it, they can, if they want to, make official Avatar Safe Havens electronic handheld games if they want. It's not confirmation that this stuff is actually happening, but just that they could do it if they wish. And so I think that's sort of the idea with Safe Havens, is that this is a title that I guess they now have, or whatever it gets, you know, because it's pending, I suppose. If they get the approval on this, it's a title that they can use if they want. Again, we have to wait and see. I get it, there's some slight weirdness because there isn't equivalent listings for Seven Havens, but again, copyright weirdness. Like, even Pokemon, I think Pokemon's probably a pretty good example of this. If you look into some of the history of Pokemon kind of copyright filings or trademark filings, you'll know that there's like filings for games, names of games that never happened. Like, there's a Pokemon Gray listing. I think Pokemon Scarlet had been one they had for, I think, a really, really long time. And there's a bunch of other like colors and stuff like that, that materials, like Pokemon whatever. There's loads of them out there, and obviously not all of them became games, but you can maybe see that, oh, Pokemon Gray probably was maybe meant to be the third version of Black and White, but then they went with Black 2, White 2, you know, that sort of idea. We just don't know what the situation right now is with this, but I think it's just worth kind of noting, so that just in case there's no surprise when maybe official news happens and maybe the show is now referred to as Safe Havens. At least we saw the copyright listing or trademark listing happen. So that is that. Definitely let me know your comments on this below. The final part of the video is just a big reminder about this. So they posted this yesterday, 72 hours left to join the journey, but actually now there's less than 2 days to join. The pledge manager, including for late pledges, will end on the 31st. I assume you still have most of the 31st to get involved, but it does mean there's only like pretty much just 1 full day left to get your hands on this, because this update seems to confirm that yes, this is their only print run. Once the campaign ends, it won't be reprinted. Don't miss your chance. Now, I don't know specifically what that means for availability in terms of like, does that mean there is a small maybe retail run of this game like once the campaign ends, but that's it? As in, like, it won't continue to be a product past the initial release? Or does it just straight up mean that if you do not back this, you basically will not be able to get a copy, like just purchasing a product? You might be able to buy it from someone else who sells it on like eBay or something like that, but the campaign is the only way to properly, like, officially purchase a copy in a normal way. I would take that to be the case. So if you do want this board game, back now is basically the idea. You have to back it either today or tomorrow, and then don't leave it till the last minute tomorrow as well, because I'm not sure exactly what time the campaign is fully going to end. So just to make that clear, they even noted here they are not going to be renewing their licensing agreement. So I guess that's what really confirms that it's not just going to be a thing that's on sale for the next couple of years, because they're not keeping the license up to keep the game in print. So just be really clear about that. You can see that a lot of people have joined the campaign since the late backing opened. I do think some of that is probably just the shipping stuff going up, but still lots of other people backing it who maybe missed the initial campaign. And definitely jump on board. I like the idea of this game. The mechanics, I think, are very fun, and it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on with this. Obviously, I think most people are getting the deluxe edition. I am too. It just seems like the really obvious and clear way to go with this. Super happy to see when they kind of confirm all this stuff and we get to see more about it. But yeah, final reminder on this one. I've mentioned it a bunch of times over the last kind of couple of weeks, and of course when the campaign was actually happening. So don't blame me if you miss out on it. Basically, after this point, I've done my part to make it clear what's happening with this. And again, it's October is the planned like actual release when you'll get it. But yeah, that's been the video. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on these trademark filings for Safe Havens. Do you think it means anything? Is it just kind of the usual trademark nonsense, or is this actually maybe what the show might have to be officially called for whatever reason? Or do you think Seven Havens is safe, locked in, and again, it's just weirdness with the trademarks? And then also, are you going to be grabbing the Journey of Aang board game with only less than 2 days to go? Let me know down below, but that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.